Breaking news. Canada's story is more than just snow and hockey. From the echoes of Viking ghosts to the rise of hockey legends, the untold saga of this northern land is about to unfold before your eyes. It's a tale of adventure, resilience, and transformation, where myth and reality collide on frozen fields and in roaring arenas. Imagine a nation with more lakes than the rest of the world combined, over 2 million sparkling jewels scattered across the land. These lakes are more than just scenery. They are the lifeblood of Canada, shaping its people, its history, and its very identity. Each one holds stories of ancient times, of survival and connection, waiting to be discovered. The maple syrup empire, sweet and golden, was built on a foundation of conflict, discovery, and cooperation. For centuries, Indigenous peoples tapped the maple's bounty, and settlers learned from them, turning this natural gift into a symbol of Canadian pride. Today, the world's breakfast tables are graced by this liquid gold, but its roots run deep into the nation's past. Canada, sprawling, majestic, and wild, is the second largest country on Earth. It stretches from the stormy Atlantic coast, across endless forests and prairies, all the way to the icy reaches of the Arctic. Its sheer size is almost unimaginable, a land where distances are measured in days, not hours. This vastness is matched only by its breathtaking diversity. Towering forests of ancient pines, endless golden prairies waving in the wind, and frozen tundra where the northern lights dance overhead. Each region is a world of its own, home to unique wildlife and cultures that have adapted to thrive in every corner. For thousands of years, these waterways served as highways for Indigenous peoples, connecting distant communities and enabling trade, storytelling, and survival. Later, European explorers and fur traders followed these same routes, forging paths that would shape the destiny of a nation. More than 70% of the world's maple syrup flows from Canadian trees, but that's just a taste of the story. Behind every drop is a legacy of tradition, innovation, and the enduring relationship between people and the land. Hockey legends like Wayne Gretzky and Sidney Crosby are national icons, their names echoing in rinks from coast to coast. But Canada's true story is far richer than any single sport or hero. It's a tapestry woven from countless lives, dreams, and struggles. To truly understand Canada, we must look beyond cliches and stereotypes. We must travel back in time. Before European ships appeared on the horizon, before the maple leaf became a symbol. Here, in the ancient forests and along the rivers, the first chapters of Canada's story were written. This is a story of survival against the odds, of conflict and cooperation, of nation building in a land both beautiful and unforgiving. Every generation faced new challenges, forging a unique identity from hardship and hope. On this enormous landmass, different peoples and cultures collided, clashed, and ultimately coexisted. Waves of newcomers joined the first peoples, each adding their own traditions, languages, and dreams to the Canadian mosaic. We'll journey from the first inhabitants who called this land home to the daring arrival of Vikings on distant shores, through centuries of imperial rivalries between Britain and France, and finally to the birth of a nation united in diversity. In just 10 minutes, we'll hit the key moments that defined Canada, moments of triumph, tragedy, and transformation that shaped the country we know today. Explorers braved the unknown. Wars were fought on snowy fields. Political struggles raged in smoky rooms, and the dream of expansion from the St. Lawrence to the Pacific became reality. Dramatic turns, unsung heroes, and pivotal events await. Stories of ordinary people who made extraordinary choices, shaping the destiny of a nation. Prepare to see Canada in a new light. The story starts now, an epic journey through ice and fire, struggle and hope that continues to this day. Long before the first European explorers set foot on these vast northern lands, Canada was already home to a rich tapestry of Indigenous cultures. The First Peoples, First Nations, Inuit, and Métis had lived here for thousands of years, shaping the land and being shaped by it in return. They thrived in every corner of this immense country, from the lush, misty forests of the Pacific coast to the wind-swept Arctic tundra, and from the rolling plains to the rocky shield. Each group adapted ingeniously to their unique environments, developing specialized skills, tools, and traditions that allowed them to flourish in even the harshest conditions. The Cree and Blackfoot, for example, became expert bison hunters, relying on the great herds for food, clothing, and shelter. Their deep knowledge of animal behavior and the land itself was passed down through generations. On the Pacific coast, the Haida and Salish peoples built impressive cedar longhouses and carved towering totem poles, each telling stories of ancestry, nature, and spiritual beliefs. Their artistry and craftsmanship are still celebrated today. Far to the north, the Inuit mastered the art of Arctic survival, building igloos from snow and traveling vast distances by dog sled. Their intimate understanding of the ice, sea, and sky was essential for life in such an extreme environment. Each nation had its own language, beliefs, and systems of governance, a mosaic of hundreds of distinct societies, each with its own rich heritage and traditions. Their connection to the land was both spiritual and practical, guiding their daily lives and shaping their identities. The land was not just a resource, but a living relative central to their worldview and survival. This was a continent alive with vibrant culture, innovation, and history long before 1492. Evidence of their presence can be found in ancient sites, artifacts, and the living traditions that endure today. The arrival of Europeans brought new technologies, unfamiliar diseases, and different ideas, setting off centuries of profound change, challenge, and adaptation for Indigenous peoples. Yet, through all these changes, the story of Canada truly begins with the First Peoples. Their resilience, wisdom, and knowledge remain foundational to the nation's identity and future. Today, their presence and contributions are a vital, living thread in the fabric of Canadian history, culture, and society, reminding us of the enduring strength and spirit of the original masters of this frozen land. The first Europeans in Canada weren't English or French, they were Vikings. Around 1000 AD, Leif Erikson's Norse explorers landed in Newfoundland, building a small settlement at Lonceau Meadows. Their stay was brief, marked by conflict with Indigenous peoples and isolation from home. For centuries, their journey faded into legend. In 1497, John Cabot, sailing for England, landed on Canada's eastern coast, claiming it for England. News of abundant cod sparked a fishing rush. Fleets from Europe crossed the Atlantic each summer. These seasonal camps became the first consistent contact between Europeans and Indigenous peoples since the Vikings. A new era of interaction had begun. While England claimed the land, it was the French who built the first permanent settlements. In 1534, Jacques Cartier explored the Gulf of St. Lawrence, trading with Indigenous peoples. Guided upriver, Cartier heard the word Kanata, village, and misapplied it to the whole region. The name Canada was born. Early French colonies struggled, but in 1608, Samuel de Champlain founded Quebec City, a strategic post that would last. Quebec became the capital of New France, anchoring a growing French presence. The French expanded along the St. Lawrence, into the Great Lakes, and down the Mississippi, creating a vast, sparsely populated territory. The dream of New France was alive. The real engine of New France was fur, especially beaver pelts, coveted in Europe for hats. The fur trade drove exploration, alliances, and conflict. French traders partnered with indigenous nations, exchanging goods for pelts. The Iroquois Confederacy, armed by the Dutch and English, fought to control the trade, leading to the brutal Beaver Wars. The Huron-Wendat, French allies, were nearly destroyed. Meanwhile, the English Hudson's Bay Company, founded in 1670, opened a new front in the fur rivalry. The struggle for control of the fur trade shaped the continent for centuries. The fur trade rivalry was part of a global struggle between Britain and France. Their empires clashed in a series of wars, drawing in indigenous allies and turning North America into a battleground. The 7 Years' War was decisive. The British captured Louisbourg, then Quebec City, after the daring Plains of Abraham assault in 1759. Both commanders, Wolfe and Montcalm, died, but the British prevailed. Montreal soon surrendered. The 1763 Treaty of Paris ceded all of New France to Britain. The map of North America was redrawn. After the British conquest, Quebec's French-speaking population faced new rulers. The Quebec Act of 1774 protected their language, faith, and civil law, ensuring loyalty during the American Revolution. Loyalists fleeing the new United States settled in Canada, shifting demographics. The Constitutional Act of 1791 split Quebec into Upper, English, and Lower, French Canada, each with its own assembly. But real power stayed with British-appointed elites, fueling frustration. In the 1830s, rebellions erupted in both Canadas, quickly crushed but politically significant. Lord Durham's report called for uniting the colonies and granting responsible government. The Act of Union in 1841 created the province of Canada. By 1848, responsible government was achieved. Canada was now largely self-governing. By the mid-1800s, leaders envisioned a united country. Fears of American invasion, economic opportunity, and political deadlock drove the push for Confederation. In 1867, the British North America Act created the Dominion of Canada, Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. John A. Macdonald became the first Prime Minister. Canada quickly purchased Rupert's Land, doubling its size. The Métis, led by Louis Riel, resisted the takeover, leading to the Red River Rebellion and the creation of Manitoba. The Canadian Pacific Railway united the country, but westward expansion brought new conflicts. The Northwest Rebellion of 1885, again led by Riel, was crushed. Riel's execution remains controversial. The late 1800s and early 1900s were a time of dramatic transformation for Canada. The construction of transcontinental railways stitched the vast country together, making it possible for people and goods to move from coast to coast. Waves of immigrants arrived at Canadian ports, seeking new opportunities and helping to build the nation's towns and cities. The Klondike Gold Rush drew thousands northward, fueling dreams of fortune and adventure, and forever changing the Yukon. Canada's sense of nationhood was truly tested during World War I. Canadian troops fought bravely on the world stage, earning global respect for their courage and sacrifice, especially at the Battle of Vimy Ridge. This victory became a symbol of Canadian unity and identity, marking a turning point in the country's history. In 1931, the Statute of Westminster was passed, officially recognizing Canada's full legislative independence from Britain. This legal milestone allowed Canada to make its own laws and govern itself without interference, paving the way for a more autonomous future. When World War II erupted, Canada made the historic decision to declare war independently, underscoring its sovereignty. Canadian forces played a vital role in key battles across Europe, contributing significantly to the Allied victory and earning further international respect. The post-war years brought prosperity and growth. In 1965, Canada adopted its own distinctive flag, the red and white maple leaf, an enduring symbol of national pride and unity that is recognized around the world. Today, Canada is a vibrant, bilingual, and multicultural nation of nearly 40 million people. Its cities are alive with diversity, where French and English are spoken alongside hundreds of other languages. The Canadian economy is dynamic, and the country's identity continues to evolve, shaped by people from all corners of the globe. Yet, challenges remain. Quebec's unique culture and language have led to ongoing debates about its place within Canada, including two close referendums on sovereignty that nearly changed the nation's course. From the deep roots of Indigenous peoples to the waves of settlers and today's multicultural communities, Canada's story is one of resilience, adaptation, and ongoing evolution, a nation always in the process of becoming. As we look across this vast and beautiful land, from the rugged Atlantic coast to the towering Rockies and the Arctic tundra, which province or territory would you most want to visit or even call home? The story of Canada is still being written. Perhaps you'll be part of its next chapter.